We call in Creator Energy to assist us in dealing with the fullness of every day and the speed with which they move. We ask to be guided and protected always, for there is a pressure and much requirement for things to be attended to. We can rest in knowing you have our backs, that we are able and capable of facing whatever comes. Sometimes more patience is required. Sometimes muscling through a difficult situation is what is necessary. Going with the flow without knowing the destination, result, or outcome can actually be freeing if we practice the phrase, let go and let God. Above all, let us express gratitude for the presence of one another as we stand firm in our I am. All of us here are here for a reason. So let us just say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroman. I'm recruiting for the Oregon Statewide Second Amendment well-regulated militia. This is not to replace or instead of any other militia, such as the one that Kate Brown did away with, and such as the one that people have been intimidated by as they were engaging in something they shouldn't be doing according to somebody else's rules or laws or Oregon revised statutes, which don't count because this is a Second Amendment well-regulated militia that I'm recruiting for. What other people do is their issue. Right now, we have a lot going on, and I'd like to bring you up to date just a little bit, as I would like some people outside of Oregon to take a look at this. I'm going to couch it a little bit different than normal. In 1775, before there was any sort of government, those folks decided they needed a Navy and a Marine Corps before they did anything else. Then they decided that they needed a unanimous declaration from the 13 united with a small u states of America. They were still separate 13 colonies, 13 states. Some were commonwealths. I digress. So what we have is a constitutional Republican form of government, but it is designed as a confederation and perpetual union. That's how it was designed. Nobody has taken the trouble to change it, and it takes a few people to get it together and change it. It's been changed 13 times, 10 times all at once. That's what I'm going to be talking about right now, the 10 times all at once. In those 10 times, there's number 7. In suits in common law, this is where the fraud starts. In Article 3 of the Constitution of the United States of America, as it was styled in their Confederation and Perpetual Union, and the Constitution is just the last and final alteration to the Confederation and Perpetual Union's articles. I read the paperwork for the last meeting of the Confederation under the Articles. He was the last one. He closed it down and they moved over. They moved over. They did not disband, throw away, nothing. In the Constitution, it says they bring it over with them. So the United States of America is still present in the Congress assembled in the 10-mile square known as Washington District of Columbia. That is where the constitutional government of the Confederation and Perpetual Unions states, there are 33. Oregon is the last of the several states. Nevada is something else. It's still a territory in jure. In de facto, they made it a federal state. Federal doesn't happen until Confederation goes away. Confederation went away as a governing force, sine die, March 1861. It has not been reconstituted properly since. There has been no Congress assembled since March 1861. Step one is to assemble. That takes 20 out of the 33, with South Carolina included. Then you have a quorum and you can open the Congress assembled of the United States of America, original jurisdiction, with a provenance, with justice, with remedy, and in common law and equity. Now, in Article 3, it says law and equity. Article 3 is amended by Amendment 7. Amendment 7 suits in common law. It identifies exactly what law is. Law and equity. It's common law and equity. Juries take us to equity. When the jury cannot find in law, the jury can move to equity and make a remedy. That's what we're about. We're about a constitutional Republican form of government where it's written down and it is executed properly. Not this fraud upon the people that is being perpetrated at every level all along the way. So, how do you bring about Article 1, Section 1, all power is inherent in the people? By reading the prompts. Article 1, Section 1 in Oregon's Constitution, states that all power is inherent in the people when they form a social compact. So then you look how to do that, and we did that, and you keep following the prompts, and the prompts are there and they're clear. And just recently, the Fifth Appellate and SCOTUS both agreed in Jarchese versus SEC, or SEC versus Jarchese 603 US 109 2024. They can't give you any kind of kangaroo court. You have to have your proper Amendment 7 court. SCOTUS and the Fifth agree on that. SCOTUS went so far as to say not only Amendment 7, you have to have Article 3 also. And Article 3 we have. Now, how do you establish something like that? Well, listen up, sheriffs. In 2017, we filed, before we were named, paper on every sheriff and 17 senators that had voted to violate our unalienable rights by breaking their oath and voting for gun control. So we wrote the paper up and we brought it over and we delivered 17 to the Secretary of the Senate. Ray served them. I was there as a witness. Then we drove over to the sheriff's office, the office of the Oregon Sheriff's Association, and we served their agent there for all 36 sheriffs. And basically it says you've been notified that Article 7 amended is bogus, and we know it, and you've been notified. And in addition to that, we also know that you're selling concealed carry permits, which breaks your oath. You're infringing. I don't care what the legislature does. The legislature on Oregon on January 21st, 2021, under the leadership of Tina Kotek, decided to hold session in the State House with the doors locked and we, Article 1, Section 1, locked out. Well, in the Constitution for Oregon, it says, I think it's in 14, you can't do that. You cannot hold a lawful session when we're locked out, but they did it anyhow. Then Mike Neerman opened the door. Then they hit us with sticks and squirted us in the face with, I don't know, some vile stuff that hurts the eyes. They're not there for our peace, safety, and happiness. That's a fact. So the legislature was tried and they were found guilty of breaking their oath, and that is a done deal. And not one of them, and they have all been served. I was standing in the same room and watched Drazen, Christine, I believe, I watched her get served. She knows that she has been found guilty with a verdict of breaking her oath and having no honor and unfit for a position of trust. And yet here she is running for the Republican Party for governor. She broke her oath in 2021. She's illegitimate or illegal. So what's going on right now is the de facto is being bumped up against by the jure, and every place in history that you read, you'll find that when this event comes up, the de facto folds because they cannot stand against public opinion. And the next time they have to go before the public will be standing there armed with the knowledge of you have no honor. You cannot hold a position of trust. If you can't take an oath and keep it, you're not worth the effort to put in office. If you do not have a bond and you're not bondability, if you don't have a proper oath, well, then you have to abandon the office. And whoever is running for that office, we will be assured is capable and qualified from top to bottom. We will have a constitutional Republican form of government this year, 2026. And I yield.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, shot him 3 more times.